right. Hey, everybody. Welcome back for week 2. I hope you had a great week. The first week, I know I did, and I was so excited to get to see so many of your drawings. You guys did a really, really good job, and I'm excited about what we're going to be doing here today. Again, hopefully you've got your paper ready, and again, it doesn't have to be copy paper. It can be just notebook paper, whatever you have to draw on. You're going to need a pencil of some sort, okay, and hopefully an eraser, and then something to blend with. I've got my little blender, but remember, you can use one of these, and then I've got my brushy, yay. So before we get started here, one thing that I noticed is I would really love to see some of you draw bigger. All right, we've got all of this space right here to do our drawing, and what you sent me, I got these little bitty teeny weeny little drawings there, and although they were good, but if we draw bigger, then we can see all the detail, and I know that you guys can add lots of detail to your drawing, so let's make them bigger. Let's use the space that we have. All right, so I'm going to get everything set up and zoom in, and we're going to get ready to start on our first drawing. All right, let's get ready to draw. This group of drawings today is called Marshmallow Mayhem. So we're going to be drawing a lot of marshmallows here. And remember, the whole idea is that we're learning how to draw from 2D, from a flat shape, to 3D, to something that's a form, like a sphere or a cube or a cylinder. Why? Because God created us that way. He created our eyes in such a way that they're slightly separated on our face so that we can see in 3D. And because we can see in 3D, then we'd like to capture the world more like God designed it. And so we're learning how to draw in 3D as well. So we're going to do that today. Again, this is our Marshmallow Mayhem lessons. And the first one, we're going to do Marshmallow Matt. Marshmallow Matt. So we're going to start off here in the middle of my page. I'm going to get myself a couple of dots. One over there and one over there, just like that. And again, we're going to draw a foreshortened shape, a foreshortened circle, just like we did last week when we did our cereal bowl, right? So we're going to make this nice and round, but it's not a circle. It's more of an oval. Actually, the art word would be an ellipse. Okay, so I'm going to go all the way over, keeping it nice and curved, touch my point, and come back around on the other side, just like that. So this is my foreshortened circle. That's my nickel that's laying down on the sidewalk as I'm walking up to it. I can see it laying down on its side like that. And the closer I get to it, then the more circular it becomes. But I'm looking at it off from a distance. And so here's my foreshortened circle. Now we're going to start here on our guide dots. And I'm going to draw a line straight down, a vertical line straight down on this side. And I'm going to come all the way over to my other guide dot. And I'm going to do the same thing. Another vertical line that goes straight down. I want these to be about the same, all right? And then, so here's my foreshortened circle. Here's my two vertical lines that are going down. And then now I'm going to connect these two at the bottom. But I'm not going to connect them with a straight line. No, this is curved at the top. So we're going to curve it at the bottom here as well. So I'm going to start right here and give myself a little curve. And I'm going to go on this side. All right. And really, you should curve it a lot more than you think. All right. So once we've done that, look what we've done. You've got a cylinder, all right? We've taken our circle and we've stretched it out as a tube and created a cylinder, all right? But this is going to be Marshmallow Matt, so we're going to have to add some things to his character, all right? So we're going to start right here in the middle of what's going to be his face, and I'm going to drop in a nice big eye right here on this side. There's Matt's eye. And now I'm going to come over here to the other side. Now this eye, because it's farther away, it's going to be smaller, and I'm actually going to tuck it around back behind here. You won't be able to see the whole eye. So I'm going to come over here on this side. I'm just going to give just a little portion of the eye sticking out. Can you see that? So I've got this eye, and this one, because it's behind and further away, is smaller, and then it's actually actually overlapping. Overlapping is one of those words. Remember, we use 10 different Renaissance words to help us to draw with depth. We have 10 depth drawing devices, okay, and foreshortening is one of those words, and so is overlapping. We're also using size. Remember, this one's larger and this one's smaller because it's farther away. All right, let's give him some eyes, and I'm going to fill in, and I'm going to leave that little shine in his eye, just like that. Good. And we're going to come over here, and again, this one's a little bit smaller. All right, but I'm still going to leave that little shine in his eye. Okay, you can see it right there. Awesome. Now, let's move down a little bit further here, and we're going to give him a mouth. Yes, I know marshmallows don't have a mouth, but they don't have eyes either. All right, so Matt's going to get a mouth, and I'm just going to come here, and I'm just going to add him a little bit of a curve, and I'm going to give it a little bump on the end there, all right? There's a little cheeky smile there on the end. And we're going to do something else special right here in just a little bit. So I've got my eyes, 2 eyes, I've got my mouth, and then, well, how about some hair, all right? I don't know why Marshmallow would have spiky hair, but Matt's going to have some spiky hair, all right? Hair. There we go. All right, so there's Marshmallow Matt. Now we're going to add some details, and again, we want to make him look more 3D, and so we're going to use some of our depth drawing device words to make him look more 3D. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a horizon line. So I'm going to go way up high here, and I'm just going to come across just like this. All right, all the way to the other side. So there's my horizon line, remember? Just like last week. So this might be the sky, or if I'm inside, this is my wall, and then this would be the ground, or this would be my tabletop. So now I've got Matt sitting somewhere in space, all right? And so we're going to shade him up and add a little bit of shadow. My 3D is kind of right where my sun is. So I always need to know where the light is coming from. So the light's coming from this direction. It's going to shine this way. All right, so the light is going to be shining on the top of his head, and it's going to be shining on kind of this part of his face. All right, and so I'm going to come over here on the back side. This is the side that's opposite the light, and I'm going to begin shading Matt, all right? And so these lines, can you see that they're kind of curved just a little bit? So these are hatching, and then because I'm curving them, we would call them contour lines because they're kind of following the shape of Matt, all right? I want him to give that feeling of roundness, all right? And it's going to be a little bit darker back here on this side. All right, and we'll blend him up with our stompy or with our finger here in just a little bit, okay? So there's Matt, there's my lights on this side, my shading is on this side, and then of course now we want to put a shadow. And remember, the shadow comes off of the other side. So here's my light up in this side, it's coming all the way across, and so I'm going to follow in this direction, and so I'm going to begin to drop in my shadow. Now normally I would actually make this shadow go all the way around, and we'll do that just a little bit. But it's going to follow all around in this direction. It's my shadow. And then right here where he's sitting on the tabletop, right there, I'm going to put that little darker spot right there, a little bit of a darker shadow. That's my contact shadow where he's touching the ground, all right, where he's touching the tabletop. All right, so we'll keep going like that, shadow that in. Just like that. Now remember, I said we're going to do something right here with his mouth. Whoops, I made a mistake. Already, I needed my eraser anyway, so that's okay. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to erase just this lower portion of Matt's mouth. All right? All right, and I'm going to draw this line back in, but watch this. Just right here, I'm just going to give it a little curve. Watch, just like that. All right? See that? And now with just that little curve, now he's kind of got his mouth open, and we can tell that he's, really, really smiling at us. All right? And sometimes Matt gets upset because when I start drawing him, I refer to him as a trash can. Not a trash can! No, I know, Matt, you're not a trash can. Not a trash can! I know that's what I'm saying. He's not. But it kind of looks like one when you first get started. All right. We're going to put a little bit of shading here on the other side of his eye as well. And so now I'm going to get out my Stompy here, and I'm going to do just a little bit of shading right behind his eye, and I'm going to smooth this out on this side, and push it across, and see how it's getting lighter as it comes across. And that's what happens with my shadows when I'm drawing rounded objects. Okay, it's darker on one side, and then as I come around the curve, then the shadow gets lighter and lighter. Now, if this was a flat surface, if this was like a square, then the shading would all be one tone, one value, and it wouldn't change as it moved across. But because Matt is round like that, it does change. And so here's my shadow. All right, very good. And I think we've about got it. But I want you to see all of these words, all of these top 10 Renaissance words, my depth drawing devices. So here we had foreshortening, all right, and we used shading, and we used shadow, we used size to show the difference between the eyes. We've got a little bit of overlapping here, and if I made his hair if I made his hair even taller, now his hair is kind of overlapping the horizon line, and then of course the horizon. So we've got so many of those words just right away in just our simple little drawing here of Marshmallow Matt. Okay, so you finish him up, and I'm going to change out and zoom in on the next part, and we'll get ready to go in our next little drawing here in just a minute. All right, see you in a bit. All right, ready to go. It's time for drawing number 2 as part of our Mass Marshmallow Mayhem lesson today. We've started off with Marshmallow Matt up here, and so now we're going to move down, and we're going to do the Mangey Marshmallow Muncher. Okay, the Mangey Marshmallow Muncher, and you'll see why I call him a muncher here in just a little bit. But just like we did with Matt, we're going to start down here, okay, with our foreshortened circle. And so I give myself my little guide dots, one on each side, just like that, and then I draw my foreshortened circle going all the way around, okay, just like that. Now, I'm going to give this one a little bit of style, a little bit of character, and so I'm going to curve these in just a little bit, okay, but I'm going to bring that down. I'm going to come over the other side and bring it down. And remember, you draw it light until it's right, okay, draw it right until it's light. Draw it light until it's right, yep. Now, again, just like I did with Matt, we're going to curve this down here on the bottom, not straight across. I'm just going to start here and just kind of sketch it over to the other side. There we go. Good. Now we've got, again, our cylinder or our marshmallow, but this is a big guy, and I want to make him opening his mouth, all right? And so we're going to actually add another marshmallow on top. We're going to stack it on top here, and you'll see how that goes. So I'm still going to use this guide dot right here, but I'm going to come up here at an angle, and I'm going to draw my second guide dot right there. You see that? Now, I'm going to do this again, draw a foreshortened circle inside using that, and come on back around. All right, it's okay if they overlap just a little bit. We'll fix that in just a moment. That'll be just fine. And again, so now I'm going to go off in this direction. All right, and go off and go up this side, and again I'm curving it in just a little bit, and now that I've got them about the same, and then I'm going to connect them across nice and curvy, nice and round. All right, so it's almost like one's on top of the other. So I'm looking down on the top of this marshmallow, and this one's I can look up at it just like that. But we're going to turn this into our Mangey Marshmallow Muncher. All right, so we're going to start up here. We're going to add his eyes, and just like we did with Marshmallow Matt, I'm going to give him a nice big eye right here on this side, and we're going to come over here and add a second one. It's just sticking out a little bit. It's smaller and it's farther away. All right, let's darken that in. He's looking down at the ground, and here's my other eye. Here we go, just like that. Looking good, looking good, looking good. Now again, he's a muncher, and because he's a muncher, that means he's got lots of teeth, So I'm going to use this as my guide, all right? And I'm just going to make some triangle shapes along this curve, some big, some small, as his teeth. You see that? So these are going to be the teeth that are on this side of his head. And then we're going to come up here and we're going to use this curve, right? And we're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to come in here and just make a few triangles working all the way back. There we go, just like that. So now I've got these that are in the front, and then these are in the back. And so to help me tell the difference, I'm going to start shading them in, and especially these little ones, I'm going to shade them in kind of darker up in here. So we call this kind of my nook and cranny shadows, right up in there where those angles are. So we'll get that darkened in right up there, all nice and dark. Shade that in, all right. And then I'm going to come down further, and I'm going to start filling this part in, but not quite as dark. Can you see that? Can you see that? So I've got my nook and cranny shadows, and now I'm going to put in my other shading up in here, because this is dark up in here. Remember, my light is up in here and shining down. All right, it's going to be shining on the top and on the back side, so there's really not any light that can get up in there. All right, so there we go. All right, shade. There we go. All right. About got it done. All right, now you take the time that you need to get it right. All right, there's no rush. And remember, you can always have somebody pause the video and then start back up again when you're ready to move on to the next section. All right, so here's the top of our Marshmallow Muncher. All right, he's got his teeth here and his teeth on the back side, and we're going to get rid of those little lines there in just a minute. All right, we don't need to do that just yet. And then we're going to do the same thing down here on the bottom side. All right, I'm going to give myself some little triangles, kind of represent his teeth. They don't all have to be the same. All right, and then let's go on the back side there. 2, 3, 4, 5, about like that. Good. So there's that. So now he's got a front row of teeth, and he's got a back row of teeth. And oh, you know what? I forgot. We were going to put a tongue in here, and I got so caught up in what I was doing that I forgot to do that. So I'm going to come in here and going to erase right in here just a little bit. All right, just a little bit. Just like that. Here's my brushy, brush. We're going to give him a little bit of tongue. So I'm going to come back here and so give myself a little curve. And then there's the other curve, just like that. So he's got this big tongue, right? So, here we go, just like that. So now we've got his tongue in there. All right, now just like we did up here, we're going to do the same thing here. All right, so here's my little nook and cranny shadows. Go right up in here, shading. All right, and all the way around, get that in there, good, nice and dark. All right, and then we're going to lighten it up just a little bit as we continue to shade, because again we're looking down into his mouth. All right, down into his mouth. Good, just like that. Awesome. I'm going to give a little bit of shading here on his tongue. I'm going to fix that in just a minute. All right, and then like I said, so I'm going to come back here, and with my eraser I'm going to get rid of these little lines on his teeth. There, this is so cool. I love this guy. All right, just like that, and then we can define that a little bit more. All right, so we can see those lines. Here we go. Yes. Okay, now I'm getting my little stompy here, and I'm gonna just kind of smooth that out inside. Okay, up in that dark area. Down into here where his teeth are, put a little bit of that tone on his tongue, and then down in here in the nook and crannies. There we go. Great, looking good. Our Mangey Marshmallow Muncher, right? Well, we see how he's a muncher, right? But not so much the mangy part. We'll get to that, all right? So let's draw a horizon line. I'm going to go back here. I'm actually just going to go up through his head, okay? Go across and then coming out the back side. There's my horizon line. So here's my light. Light's going to fall on this side, so I'm going to shade on the opposite side. So I'm going to be doing my shading here on the left, down his head. Okay, a little bit underneath that eye, shade. And then down here at the bottom, same thing. It's a little bit darker on the edge, remember. And then we're going to come in a little bit lighter as we go. A little bit lighter as we go. There we go. We'll fix that with our blender here in just a little bit. And then don't forget our shadow. And again, so the light's coming this direction, coming from up here and moving in this direction. And so my shadow, coming down here, my shadow is going to move in that same direction as well. So I'm just adding the shadow. And remember, it's darker at the bottom where it touches. Okay, that contact shadow. All right. And then it gets a little bit darker just like that. Okay, good. Hey, we're almost done here. Looking good. All right, let's do our shading here. Fix our shadows and blend that out just a little bit here. Nice and smooth. How you doing? You doing good with this one? I know this got quite a few little details, especially doing all those teeth. But I know you guys can. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. All right, and then let's blend down here. Okay, push it. I'm going to push it across. Okay, see how it's darker over here and it gets lighter as it comes this way. Good. We'll do a little bit with the shadow too. Okay. All right. Now there's our Mangey Marshmallow Muncher, but he's not very mangy yet. And the reason he's mangy is because he doesn't have a lot of hair and he's got these little wiry hairs. All right. So we're just going to come up and then we're just going to go down. There's one. And there's another one. See how I'm wiggling those lines? And they're going out just like that in all kind of different ways. And go way up high and come back down. And here's another one. And you know what? I think I'm going to add another one. And how about another one? And let's do another one. And another one. And another one. You can give him as much hair as you want to, all right? But again, can you see what we've done here? Again, here's our horizon line, our foreshortening, our shadows and our shading, our size and our overlapping, all of those awesome words that help us learn how to draw with depth, all right? So there's Matt, and here is our Marshmallow Muncher, and we're going to get ready for drawing number 3. All right, I'm back drawing number 3. But hey, before we did that, I wanted to show you, there they are. There are top 10 drawing devices, our top 10 depth drawing devices. And these are those words that we've been talking about: foreshortening, shading, shadow, size, and overlapping. Horizon, we've used all of those, even in our simple little drawings. And then there's placement and density and contour and details. And these words all came about during the Renaissance. That was 500 years ago, and yet we're still using these words to learn how to draw in 3D, to add depth to our drawing. All right, so on to number 3. Number 3 is the Many Mad Marshmallow Martians. Right? We had Marshmallow Matt, and then we had our Mangey Marshmallow Muncher, and now we're having Many Mad Marshmallow Martians. All right, so let's get to our drawing. And again, we're going to start with a foreshortened circle. So I'm going to give myself a couple of guide dots right there in the middle of my page. Right, I'm going to give myself that nice squishy circle, right? When we foreshorten something, we squish and distort. And so there's that circle. Now, I'm going to add some thickness to this one. All right, and so I'm going to do that by coming outside just a little bit. I'm going to give myself some thickness. And I'm going to go out, but I'm going to swing way out far over on this side and then come back close. And then out on the other side, and then come back close, just like that, all right? So it's thin here on the top and the bottom, and it's thicker out there on the edges, all right? And so now we're going to connect these. We're going to make a curve, and just however that works for you, I just kind of meet in the middle. Nice curvy line. Oops. Just like that. There we go. In fact, I'm going to have to get my eraser. I don't normally do that, but that was bad. I really missed it. on that one. See, even the art teacher misses and messes up sometimes too. All right, so here we go. Get that connected just like that. All right, kind of like our cereal bowl. It looks like a cantaloupe, maybe. All right. So, but this is going to be our spaceship, right? And so we're going to put our Marshmallow Martians inside the spaceship. Okay. So let's go up here, and again, I'm going to give myself a foreshortened circle. I'm not going to bother with the guide dots because this is kind of smaller, but I'm going to push this guy, and I'm going to do it at an angle. And again, I'm just going to get the motor running, kind of begin that pattern of drawing, and then I set my pencil down, and then there I've kind of lightly got my shape, all right? So that's going to be our first little guy. He's going to be kind of tall. So we're going to put him right there. And let's go to the back. Let's make another one. So again, I'm getting the motor running here, making that foreshortened circle, and then I touch down and draw it. And let's see, let's get this one going in here. All right. So we're going to be going this way, and so this guy's going to be kind of in the front in the driver's seat, and this guy's going to be kind of checking things out in the back and looking at where they're going. All right. Hey, let's put a few more guys in here. How about that? Let's see. Let's go up here above him, and again, I'll get the motor running and give myself a foreshortened circle. And we're going to pull that down. And remember, this is overlapping. So this part of this guy is going to be tucked in behind, so we're not going to see the rest of him there. All right, we'll drop this down into there. And let's see. Let's put a guy. Yeah, let's put one way up here. Big tall guy in the back. All right, so I'm getting my motor running. Here we go, round and round, making a foreshortened circle, touchdown, and there we go. All right. And so again, this is going to be overlapping just a little bit, and this is going to come down in here, and it'll stop right there because he's going to be overlapping this guy. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we need one more. We like odd numbers more than we do even numbers. Let's get a guy going in right here. All right, and maybe he's checking out what's going on in the front. So I'm going to angle it. Let's see, about like that. And there we go. And so we'll put him in here. And there we go, just like that. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excellent. So there, I've got my 5 Marshmallow Martians flying in their flying saucer. All right. And oh, you know what? Let's I do want to add one. I do want to add one more. Let's come out here, and one of them. Maybe this guy's not such a good driver, all right? And one of them fell out the back, all right? So again, I'm going to give myself a foreshortened circle. All right, there we go, just like that. Now this one, because he's up higher than us, we're looking down at these guys. We're looking up at this guy, just like we did on our muncher. Remember, with the lower marshmallow, we could see the top, and then on the upper marshmallow, we could see just the bottom. And so we're just going to see the underneath of this guy. All right, and there's that, and I'm going to curve the top. So we'll come back to him in just a little bit. All right. So I've kind of got it blocked out where everything's going to go, and then the next part is to begin putting in some of the details. But before I do that, I'm going to grab my eraser and I'm going to clean up just a little bit. All right, because this guy's in front. Okay, so I can get rid of this part of the flying saucer, and I can get rid of these lines here because this guy is next. All right, we won't see that section with this guy, and this can go away, and then this section right here. And then when we get that done, then you'll be able to see a lot better what's going on with these guys. All right. So now that those are erased, okay, and brush. So now we can see that these guys are down in the spaceship. Here's my front guy, and this guy's looking, and so now I can see that they're all in there, and then the one flying out the back. So now let's work on some details. So we're going to start up here with this guy right here, and we're going to give him a nice big eye, just like we did with Matt and our muncher. And we're going to come over here on the other side, and maybe he's got that other eye that's sticking out the other side just a little bit. And let's put our pupil with a little shine there, and our other pupil with a little shine. There we go. See that? Now, if you remember last week when we did our friendly fish, and we did the bigger fish that was jumping up, and we did this open mouth on that fish. So I'm going to do the same thing on this guy, because he's going to be like going, whoa, you know. They're flying so fast and looking at everything that they're seeing. So I'm going to give him that open mouth, just like we did on our fish, right? You see that? Got a little part that got overlapped there. So there's that opening, and remember, this opening is on this side of the marshmallow, down on this side. If the opening was over here, we'd do it differently, but because it's over on this side, I'm going to add my thickness on this side. Can you see that? So there's his mouth, and then we can go ahead and darken in like that, right? So now he's going, whoa, dude, whoa. All right, so let's go to this guy, and we'll do the same thing. Let's give him an eye and another eye. It's a little bit smaller, okay, and it's overlapping in the back there, and he's looking down at what's going on. All right, and let's see, how about this guy? He's going to be, let's see, he's just going to be looking straight at us, all right? So there's his two, and we'll fill that in. Give his little shiny spots in his eyes, and watch this. I'm just going to give him a little mouth. He's going, ooh, man. All right, how about that? And let's put this guy back here. Here's one. Here's two. There's one eye there and one eye there, and I kind of like that open mouth. So let's do that again. Here's my foreshortened circle that it's his mouth, and we'll put my thickness in on that side. Here's another one. He's going, whoa, all right? So it's like, whoa, 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 and how about this guy back here? Let's get him going too, all right? So here's his eye, and here's his other eye. Remember, it's a little bit farther away, so it's smaller, all right? And there's that one. And with this guy, let's give him a different mouth. Let's make him kind of happy, all right? So we're just going to give ourselves a little curve like that. Remember that little bump, all right? And then we're going to come on down here with an opening, and just like we did with our Marshmallow Muncher, let's give him a tongue. So my one little curve, and there's my other little curve, right? And then we can shade inside here, darken that in. This is contrast. All right, it's darker inside his mouth than it is outside his mouth. There we go. Hey, it's looking great. I'm excited. Let's not forget this guy up here. All right. I don't know what's going on with him. All right. This is two eyes, and he's definitely going to be going, whoa. All right. There we go. And we'll give him big open mouth. Okay, it's kind of in the center, but we're still just going to put our thickness on the one side, and we'll darken it in just like that. Now we don't want him flying away, so let's at least tether him, whether he's got a bungee cord or something. I don't know, but we'll at least connect him back to the spaceship so that he doesn't get lost. All right. Good job. Now we're still going to come back in and add a few more details. We've got some shading and shadows to do. So I need to know where my sunlight is. All right, even though in space, sunlight's coming this way. All right, it's going to be shining down. So with this guy, it's actually underneath here where we're going to get my darkness. It's just underneath right there, because the light's on the top and no light there on the bottom. All right, a little shading, a little cross hatching going on there. All right, I may give him a little bit of shadow there. And how about some action lines? All right, because he's jumping back there. Okay, there's that. A couple here. Excellent. All right, let's shade up these guys. So lights on the top. We'll shade down here on this side, coming across the cylinder. Okay, shade. All right, this guy, we'll add some shading on this side of him, and a little bit of shading on this guy over here. Remember, we're going to blend all this here in just a little bit with our stump, or with our little Q-tip there. In fact, I'll grab my Q-tip and do it as well, because you can certainly get this done with whatever tools that you have. All right, you don't have to have fancy art supplies to do this, by no means. So let's get our shading in here. Now down here inside, we're going to darken that in. All right, let's come around here on this side. We're going to darken inside there. Good, just like that. Now look, we've got our little story that's starting to come together. All right, and so let's get it on the spaceship here. So again, the sun's on this side, so this is going to be the edge that I'm going to shade. And I've got to turn my paper just a little bit to do this right. Okay, so I'm just going to use those lines. These are contour lines, all right? They're not straight, they're curved. They're following the shape of the space of the saucer there just a little bit, all right? And remember, it's going to be darker on the farthest edge, farthest away from the sunlight. So we'll get some shading going on there. Just like that. And let me get my Stompy, and we'll go back up here and get this guy going. A little shading, there we go. And this guy right here, a little shading. Looking good. Are you doing? I know there's a lot to do in this drawing, so don't feel like you have to do this whole drawing in one sitting, all right? You feel free to take a break. If you just want to stop right where you are and then come back to it later, that's fine. No problem. But I'm just going to finish shading these guys up just a little bit and blending it here with my Stompy. Oh, I said I was going to use my Q-tip, and I will, all right? So I'm just going to shade here, push it back up again. See there, look at there. And there's already quite a bit of graphite on there. So as I'm dragging it through the other graphite, I'm just pushing it across. It's getting lighter as it goes across. Remember, dark on this side and lighter on this side. Okay, good. Now, I said that these guys are Martians, but they aren't looking too Martian-like right now. So let's give them all some little antennae. So we'll come out of the top of the head and a little ball on the top. Okay, I have no idea what what aliens look like, all right? But there was a show called My Favorite Martian when I was a kid, and I remember the guy had he had antennae that would come popping up out of his head. He looked like just you and me, but he was a Martian, and so his antenna would come up out of his head, and it was a lot of fun. All right, antenna. There we go. So we got them all done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Martians all with antenna. Oh, you know what? He's going ah, and it's like, hey, it's Matt, right? It's Marshmallow Matt. So here's our marshmallows, our Martian marshmallows, and there's Marshmallow Matt joyriding with the Martians. Isn't that funny? And then one more detail here. We're going to come out the back here. You know, you can just keep going and telling more of your story, but I'm going to come out this way. I'm going to taper this line. Can you see that? That it's narrow here and it's coming out a little bit further. We're going to add a tailpipe, all right? An exhaust or something like that. And so I'm going to come around here and give it a little bit of a collar, right? And then let's come down on this end and finish out. We're going to add a foreshortened circle on this end. So this is going to be our pipe, our tube. So it's going to be a little bit darker in there. And then let's see, what else can we do? Oh, let's add another kind of another collar. So I'm going to come out here just like this. All right. And then this is going to go like that. So there's that shape, and then if I add some thickness to it, you see that? There's my thickness to that, and then again I got to get my eraser here. So if I erase out some of these lines out of the middle, you can kind of see what's happening, right? So here's my pipe coming out of the back end of the spaceship, and then it's got this big flare on the end down there, and we got this little part too, forgot about. Woohoo! So it's just details, and all the details come in and start adding so much to your drawing, because then it begins to tell a story, and that makes it so much more fun when that happens. All right, so we'll shade down here just a little bit, and this side is going to be in shadow. All right. And this side just a little bit, and down here. All right, there's my Stompy. We'll shade that up just like that. All right, almost there. All right, then like that. Here we go. Cool, right? Oh, Cheerio power, right? So here's my. Remember we did our Crunch Berry cereal or cereal. So this is running off of those cereals there, and then. Let's try this. I'm just using my Stompy. Look, a little bit of a shadow. Okay, where the pipe is casting a shadow. Right? So there it is. Those are our Many Mad Marshmallow Martians with our friend Matt hitching a ride back there. Hey, did you have fun? I certainly hope you did. I know I did as well, and I'm looking forward to seeing your artwork when you get it all done. Be sure to send that to me, and if that's all, I will see you again on Thursday. Thanks, guys.